I'm Chelsea, I'm the owner of Modern Cone, and today Bob is going to show you how to clean our C712 Taylor soft serve machine. This process also applies to other Taylor soft serve machines, but make sure you check your manual just to be sure. So we went with a Taylor freezer machine because Taylor freezer is very reliable, and we purchased this machine refurbished. So a normal cost for a Taylor machine is about $30,000. We got this for about $18,000, and we ordered this directly from Taylor Freezer. If you guys are looking for a soft serve machine and a good soft serve machine, it's best to buy directly from Taylor Freezer or with the company of the machine that you're looking for. A lot of third parties will sell you something that doesn't work, and it's not a good experience. These cost way too much money for you guys to be trying to find something really cheap. And the great thing about Taylor Freezer is that they let you finance this, which is awesome. And then also when you purchase directly from Taylor Freezer, you get a warranty for like 3 years. So if something goes wrong with the machine, you are covered for that. A lot of times stuff goes wrong with these machines. Without further ado, I'm gonna pass it off to Bob, and he's gonna show you how to clean your machine.
The first thing I do is when I tear the machine apart, I need a place to put all the parts. This is sanitizer. I sanitize where I'm going to put all the stuff. Grab a towel, do it real light so it's damp, so it dries. You want to make sure there's no pieces of food or anything on here. And then you want to make sure that you have your sinks filled up with detergent and sanitizer over at the triple sink. So those are already filled up. The first thing we're going to do is we have to drain the holding tanks that hold the mix for the ice cream. So it's in standby right now. We got to take it out of standby. This is the button you press for that right here. See how that goes off? How that goes off. All right, now right here, this is the cleaning. These two are the cleaning buttons. So I hit those. Now the most important thing is this right here. We have plugs underneath here. This is a pump machine. You have to take the pressure off. You can hear the pressure when you do that. You want to make sure you do that because if you don't, when you go to disconnect these, you'll have ice cream squirting all over the place, and we don't want that. So now that the pressure's been relieved, I can go up here and disconnect these. Go over here, rinse them a little bit. I just leave these in the middle sink, and I put the metal and everything like that. Anything that's got rubber seals on it, I do that separately. So now I'm going to do this one. Now we need to drain the top of the machine of all of our mix. I always tell the girls the night before I'm going to do this, don't fill the machine up. I like it when the low lights are on. Like when you get to a certain amount, a light comes on in the front saying to refill it. I like it when those lights are on. So now I've got the cleaning on. I just hit that and it's going to drain your machine. Now you can use buckets. I found this at home. I find this easier. I can do all three at once. So we need to drain this completely. I've been cleaning this machine since we got it about, what, 6 years ago? We do ours once a week. I completely strip it down, sanitize. I mean, you'll see all the steps we go through, tear everything apart. It's starting to get low. As you can see, it's starting to slow down, which means we're just about empty. Okay, I hit those buttons off. Now, what we have here is we have a special hookup with just hot water that we hook up to. Now if you don't have that, you can get an attachment for the sink in the bathroom that you can attach a hose to and work off of that. But we're gonna need a hose. If you have a mop basin, you can dump it into the mop basin, or I always add water so I can flush it down the toilet. You don't want the cream from the ice cream to be blocking your pipe, so you don't want to send it in there without thinning it out a little bit. Now I have my little footstool. I'm gonna go up here and do a little rinsing. Just try and get the chocolate off the sides and off the metal. You don't have to get it perfectly because we're going to put some water with some dishwasher detergent in it and run it through here. Okay, now we're going to put the cleaning cycle on again on both of them. Now you see how these lights come on? That tells you it's low. You can see in there. That tells you you're low on mix when there's mix in there. Then I'll drain it, take off the pump, then we'll put some detergent in here, run it through there a little bit, and then we'll start disassembling. Then when I start taking this apart, this is the lower unit. Just trying to flush out some of the old mix. You can tell when the machine needs to be cleaned. There's a lot of like cream on the top of the mix, which means it's separating. If you smell curdled milk, that means your mix has gone bad. That can happen sometimes, or we've gotten bags directly from the supplier that have been bad before too. You just have to watch it when you're filling it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these are the pumps. This holds the pump down. Let me just slip that off, bring that over here. That's going to go in there. That's going to go in there. Anything with seals, like I say, I keep in here. I'll do those separate. Keep my cleaning stuff in here for the machine, spare parts. I'm gonna need all these brushes and a pick. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some dishwasher detergent to fill up the upper unit. I'm gonna put half a bucket on each side, and then I'm gonna take my brush and brush the inside of that. When it stops gurgling, that means the bottom is filled up. So if you notice over here on the chocolate side, it's no longer gurgling. That means it's filled up. Another thing I recommend is you can buy tune-up kits for these machines. I do a tune-up kit every quarter, so 4 times a year. I put new blades, new seals, new everything that comes with the tune-up kit. You order them through Taylor, and that'll keep your machine running properly and avoid service calls. I just grab this and give everything a scrub. Want to make sure you get underneath here, because sometimes the ice cream will dry underneath there. You don't want any pieces of ice cream, dried ice cream in there, because that can cause your mix to go bad. You usually have to scrub the chocolate a little bit more because it seems to stick a little bit more than the vanilla. There's holes that drop the mix down into the lower unit. That's what I'm in right now with the brush. You want to brush that out, make sure there's no pieces of ice cream dried up in there. Do the same thing on this side. Now we're going to drain all this out. Then shut off the cycle, the cleaning cycle. Now you see right now that it's empty. You see how both lights are on? That's when you know you're empty. Now what I'm going to do is just rinse this out just a little bit. Don't have to get it too much, because the final step is we put sanitizer all through this. So I just want to get the soap off the sides. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull these. That rotates the pump when the machine's on. I take a little bit of paper towel, because when I pull those, sometimes it drips, and I just got done cleaning that and I don't want the mess inside there. So I'll put that underneath there like that. Now they have specific tools to pull those. I just use channel locks. Just grab that. Pull it. Pull it. See how that drips down? I don't want that where I just cleaned. These just go in the sink. And I wipe the inside of it. See how that's coming out of there? You want to make sure that's nice and clean. See, that's clean now. I'm going to get a brush again. Same brush I used before. And we're going to clean those. You have to grease these things so you get the food grease in there. So you want to make sure you get it all out. The upper unit is done. We're going to shut the machine off. And start to disassemble. Now there's a timer. It gives you 5 minutes to get this thing disassembled. Otherwise the machine will lock up. The timer will start once I pull this face off. See how it says time 5 minutes? It also tells you the temperature of the hopper and the barrel. I always pull the drain plugs out first. You see how this timer's going now? 4 minutes, 30 seconds. I'll put that to the side. Now I'm going to pull these. These are your blades, these are your guards. I usually take the hose and just give it a quick squirt up here. Now there's also a plug up in there if you want to take a look. You got to pull those out. So I just reach in. 1, 2. Once again, I'm going to get my brush. Get the dishwasher soap off of it. Dip it into the sanitizer. Just do that. And twist it. See what's coming off? See how gray that is? Take some sanitizer, and I'm going to spray the upper unit. Okay, then I'm going to a couple squirts into the lower unit. And that's that. Okay, now I'm going to start washing. Now when I do this, I always put these here, and then I throw the seals inside of that, and I put that like that because what happens sometimes, some of the smaller seals will go down the drain and you don't want that. This is the hard one to get out. Okay, I just put this in. See, all these have seals on it, so everything with a seal is in here. So I always start and clean this stuff first. So you don't have to worry about scrubbing these too much because I've already ran dishwasher detergent through the machine, so I just give them a quick wipe. You kind of want to visually inspect it, make sure there's no ice cream, because sometimes in these little cracks and stuff you'll see a little bit of chocolate or vanilla ice cream that's dried to it. And into the sanitizer. These are the blades. I recommend replacing these every quarter with the tune-up kit. You have to order the blades separately from the tune-up kit. If you take your finger and rub it across here and you start to feel bumps, that's when you know you have to replace the blade. You'll notice as you get near the end of your quarter that some of these seals and some of the blades aren't working as well as they were originally. You'll notice the difference when you put it back together. Everything will fit tighter, and what happens is as the seals wear, sometimes your machine will start to leak a little bit. So then you kind of know it's time to change blades. From now till we start putting everything back together, it's just basically dishwashing. The most important thing is when you put these seals back on, they've got to be on the right way, because if they're not, and you turn that machine back on, and you try and pull some ice cream, you're going to get mix squirting all over the place. I like to have the machine ready within an hour of opening, because we don't really sell a lot of soft serve in the mornings, but we do have cake decorators that need the soft serve machine for their cakes. So it's very important that I get this done in a timely manner. Now we get into the part where I need some brushes. This usually in here is where you're going to get builds up of dried ice cream, so I always kind of take a look. Maybe take this and give that a quickie. I don't see any on this one this time. Now these are important too. Got to make sure these are clean. So I do that, and then I need these little ones for this. This little one, I want to make sure there's no ice cream in there, so I'll go like that, and then through here, make sure there's no buildup. And if you do that, you'll see the water squirt out on both of these. Rinse it. All right, that's that. Now what I'm gonna do is grab a towel and we're gonna start moving this stuff over to where we cleaned before. When I do this, I separate the upper unit from the lower unit. That's the lower unit. This is the upper unit over here. You don't want to dry these off. You kind of want the sanitizer to air dry it. It doesn't look like much over there right now, but when we get done, you'll see. This has usually got a lot of stuff on it, as you can see. Top and bottom. So this one you gotta kind of watch. Take one of my brushes, clean the drain plugs. Okay. Push it through there, push it through there. Now I'm going to take my pick and start taking all the seals off. Anything that's too big to go down the drain, I don't bother putting inside there. I just put it on the bottom of the sink. All these come up with the tune-up kit. When you order a new tune-up kit, you get all new seals. And this isn't as easy as it looks. I've been doing this for 6 years. It took a while to get efficient at getting these things off because they can be a pain sometimes. You don't want to pull too hard, you don't want to rip them. Now these sometimes have grease, see the grease in there? Let's turn the water on, kind of rinse that out before I put it in the dishwasher soap. Then the last thing I'll do is I'll wash all the seals. This is all very redundant stuff. You do the same thing every week. One of the most important things when you get the seals here, you got to make sure the seals are on everything the right way. Otherwise, it can get bad. All right. It's very important, these hard plastics. You don't want any chips or anything because, like I say, it's all under pressure. If there's chips in it, you're going to get ice cream squirting out. So if you drop them, you need to inspect them to make sure that there's not a chip in them, because if they're chipped, you're probably going to have to get a new part. This is everything. This is the machine taken all apart, washed, sanitized. These are all the parts. So I'll just let this sit for a few more minutes, and then we'll start putting it back together. This is the grease that we get from Taylor. It's lube for all the rubber parts. It's very important that this stuff is lubed up properly. Otherwise, your machine will start to scream when the rubber isn't lubed up. Don't be stingy with it, but don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, when you put those brushes in, it just comes out the other end when you clean it. So just want to get these things greased up a little bit. And that slips over that. I always do this just to get the excess. Now I have to put some lube inside there. Then you can put, you never want to get any lube on the ends, but you can put a little bit here.
Tomorrow.
I can go to the grocery store. Kim at the house? Right.
Okay. Next are these. Once you get those in, you put these back in. And you just turn that till you feel it click in. Just put that right on there. Slide that in, flip that around, put that one in. You got to put these on before you slide this back on, because if you put that in without these on there, there's no way of getting them in. So you have to make sure these are in before you put it on the front of the machine. Now this is very important. You got to make sure these things are on and that they're on. They're not pinched. Just like that. Then you need to put a little grease on them. Grease these up a little bit. Alright, then break that in there. Same thing with the next one. Make sure they're on there good, they're not pinched. A little bit of grease. All right. Okay, now we're gonna put this back in. As you can see, that's why I told you got to put those in first, because you can't pull those out once you've put it in. There's not enough room. And you just kind of push it as quickly as you can. Put one of these in there, get it tightened down a little bit so they can't move. I do corner to corner. There. Now they're not going to move. Get a few more turns in. This one goes on the bottom.
I go, no, your mom.
And you roll it up.
She goes, are you kidding?
Once again, you make sure that there's no pinches.
Yeah. And I go,
This one
we were dying laughing because she goes,
has to go into the slot.
that's Sandy. And I
She
said,
likes all the gossip.
yeah.
Like, she likes,
And I go, and when I looked at her profile picture, it was.
Okay, now we have to grease these. This one goes in the middle. This is for the swirl. You get the chocolate and the vanilla out of this one. Make sure it's greased up good. Not too much though. Now when you put them in the machine, you put them like this, up like that. There.
I just have to do one.
It's got to be like that. Grease these up.
Yeah, so there is a baby and then when it goes, I'll bring it back on.
All right. Same thing.
I don't really know how they would do this because he just was screaming in the bathroom.
Have that facing up.
I literally go, I literally can't stand it.
All right, last one. All right, now these. These go face down, like this. Don't put them like that, they have to go like this. And then you put that in there like that. And you gotta loop it through there. Same thing with the next one. It goes in there. And last but not least, now sometimes you might have to move this a little bit to get that past there. You might have to loosen it up or just tighten it up or whatever. But then you want to go like that to make sure the grease, they should spring back up when you let go of them. All right, now we're going to start working on the upper unit. The lower unit is done. First thing we're going to start with is this. This rotates and moves the pump. So we got to put the rubber seals back on. All right, now we grease it. I usually grease the lower part first. upper. Then I take my finger and get the excess grease off of there. All right, now the pumps. We have to grease the inside of this. This makes the pump work a little easier. All right, now we got to grease these. You don't need a lot of grease for this because once the mix gets in there, the consistency is kind of like, I don't know, you felt cream, it's kind of slippery. All right, push that down. Okay, now these things go, see the big round one there? That goes like that. Same thing with that, that goes like that. See this little thing right here? That's got to line up with that. So you put that in, and you press down, and you twist that on. You can feel it click into place right there. Put that there. Put that there, and now I'm going to put it in the upper unit. These hold the pumps in place. Put these in here. Okay, now these need to be greased. Just a little bit. Just a tiny amount. Put it on the inside. And I like to twist it to even it out. Okay. The vanilla side is the short side. The chocolate side is the longer side. I'm going to get my bucket and fill it up with sanitizer. We're going to put 1.5 buckets on each side. And then we're going to run the cleaning cycle for a few minutes, drain it, and then it's going to be ready for the mix. One other thing before I turn the machine back on each week, I go around the back and there's reset buttons in the back, 4 of them. I always hit the reset buttons. It says power switch off, unit cleaned. I turn that on, hit the cleaning. That's just going to cycle all the sanitizer through the machine. Let that run for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to drain the sanitizer out of it so we can get some mix back in here and have the machine start making some ice cream again. Now we're going to reattach the pumps. Now these have to line up with that little nub. See the nub on the end of that? And then there, it slips right on. This locks the pump in. That just slips over there like that. Give it a quick wipe.
It's just like, yeah, it's just like kind of.
And if you know if you line it up good. If not, you got to fight it a little bit. Okay. You can use any type of mix you want. We use the dairy, like Country Fresh. Seems to work good. Okay, now we're going to fill this back up. Okay, now the chocolate.
And so she was like,
hello, your device is ready for setup.
Okay, you don't really need a lot of grease for this. Just a little bit. Okay, now the part with the black goes in like this, and you'll feel the hole
I get the text last minute.
All right, there it is. There it goes in, that goes like that, and then you snap this in. All right, we'll do the same thing with this side now.
Come over here.
And that's why I can't.
Now this one's off-centered, so this one goes over here. Yeah, right there. You can hear it go in. Push that in. Okay, now it's ready to be turned back on. Here's the buttons for to turn the machine back on. If something's going to go wrong, it usually goes wrong right away. I'm going to hit that button. See how the pump starts? See it moving? It's starting to pump. I'm going to do the same thing with the vanilla. See how that's starting to move? You're going to want to put the lids back on. As you can hear now, the motor on the machine is turned off, which is telling me that it should be ready to make some ice cream. Let's check and see. Yep. See how nice and stiff the vanilla is? That's perfect. That's how you want it. Once again, delicious.
I also want to touch on these little grease traps on the side of the machine. So these pull out. There's one here. There's one in the front right here. There's one, the same one on this side right here. And there's also one in the back. These you can see right here, they collect grease or like the lube that you use for the parts. And that's why Bob was talking about that you don't want to over grease the machine, because if you over grease it, it's just gonna churn it out and put it in here. So you need to have like a good in between of how much lube that you use. So I just wanna make sure that you guys clean these when you're cleaning the machine. We didn't show it in the other parts, but I'm just touching on it now. Just make sure you pull these out, wash them. They don't need to be lubed up or anything, and then they just stick right back into the machine.
Well, thanks for watching me clean our machine today. If you do have a problem, you can try and diagnose it yourself, but if you can't, I highly recommend calling them. They usually come out within a few days. It's easy to order the tune-up kits through them. We use all of their stuff. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. We're going to have some links to show you where to get some of the things that we've talked about. And always remember, a clean machine is a happy machine.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, we also have a ton of other tutorials like this in our online school, Craft a Creamery. You can join by visiting moderncone.com or also the link in the description here. As an added bonus, we've also included a PDF that goes with cleaning the machine with some helpful tips and tricks, and I hope to see you inside my online school. Thanks for watching.